Magic.
Hello, everybody, and welcome again to Mad Magic. I'm Mono. That is Thallid over here, coming back with another episode of One to Buy and One to Sell, and then a new segment, which is going to be near and dear to our heart. And we invite all you to comment on this because we're curious about it. One to speculate on. How you doing, Thallid? Besides pounding whatever you're pounding over there.
It's not your mom, if you would.
Good. This is good. I'm happy to hear that. Good. Every week, I always love to know what it is you're really interested in. Now, I'll say that your one to buy this week, is certainly a safe bet to get it. You're not going to lose money, though I am a little curious as to how much more money you think it can be worth, et cetera, et cetera. So let's get into this. What is our one to buy?
Our one to buy this week is going to be Power Artifact.
Power Artifact from Antiquities. Okay, so I've adjusted our calendar here. This is basically since January 20th on MTG stocks, right? Here's our always big pounder area, which was hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And today we're sitting at about 200. Now, why do you like this card?
This card is an absolute classic. It is a combo enabler that everyone has been familiar with since the beginning of the days of Magic. It's from the very underprinted second expansion set from Magic's history, and it works very well in a number of competitive commander decks. Excuse Yoda there. Hey, buddy. But it combos well with Basalt Monolith, Grim Monolith to produce infinite mana.
Pay 2 to untap it, get 3, do it a million times, and there's your mana, right?
So if you have like for instance, this is one of my main win cons in my Urza competitive commander deck. If it resolves with Grim Monolith or Basalt Monolith in play, I go infinite with my commander, draw my own deck. I can do Time Twister loops. I can do whatever. Everyone's heard of this card. Everyone knows about this card. It's just broken. It's underprinted. As long as the reserve list stands, this card, there's no way in my mind that this card is ever not going to go back to where it was.
And so hang on, let me ask you about that, right? So the card's already $200, and I do think that the 2021 spike, I mean, maybe we could see that again, but I don't think it's really fair to point to the 2021 COVID spike in cards as like, that was a fluke, right? Sure, it could happen again, but that was its own thing that we may never see again. But it's certainly not something we could count on seeing again, right? However, at $200, do you just feel like that's pretty cheap right now?
Yeah, regarding that, I obviously the whole that whole thing was a black swan event for sure. But if you look to the trends in the prices of Magic cards and how they relate to every approximately 4 years or so, they have a huge spike up and then they level off, consolidate, and then they go back up. Every all-time high is generally higher than the last all-time high. So as long as Magic continues to grow in popularity, I think this card is not seeing its all-time high, and every all-time high will succeed its last. So at its current price, I think it's a great deal, and I think we could see a card that is easily $1,000 in probably, I would say, this sounds kind of crazy, but like about 6 years, about $1,000. Probably 500 to 600 in probably about a year and a half.
So I'll show you here one more thing. I'm going to go to Card Kingdom. Check this out. They have one. However, it's BGS, but it's rated 9.5. Now, of course, there's a premium on that. So when you say $500-600, would you say that's like a light play near mint, or are you truly reserving that for the 9 pluses that we're going to be getting there? Now, this is the only one, though, on Card Kingdom. So I don't think you can say, oh, that's what the card's worth. Hey, I mean, no one's bought it yet, right? So you can ask whatever you want, but someone actually has to buy it. And then, I think you need to see several sales in order to start seeing it trend out. Because a single collector can come up and go, oh, that's what I've been waiting on for my super hardcore minty antiquities set and get it. But that's not really indicative of the real trends that are out there. However, it can get there. So what condition, whenever you talk about where cards can go to?
I'm not talking about necessarily near mint. I'm talking about like near mint to not light play plus near mint. Like mainly light play, like stuff that has seen a little bit of play, but isn't necessarily something that's going to get you a 9 or a 9.5 if you send it into BGS or a PSA or CGC. It's a very playable card. It just has to have eye appeal.
So go ahead and tell everyone, what is your one to sell?
My one to sell is Painter's Servant. Painter's Servant from Shadowmoor originally. It has one printing that matters, and it has one incredibly rare printing, and that's the Kaladesh Inventions. The card, I think it's about $50-$60 right now. It really, the price of this card is predicated entirely on scarcity. This is one of those cards that Wizards is going to eventually just pull out of the hat and decide they want to reprint, and it's going to drive the price of the card into the dirt. It's really only viable in some combo decks that it is used in conjunction with Grindstone.
Right, because if both cards share the color, so I've got Grindstone up here right now, right? So if they share the color, then you repeat the process, and because Painter turned everything into a single color, that's it, right? And so you can't even get around lands. It'll even make your lands green or whatnot, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Is this making its way around? Like, are people showing up a lot with this card? Like, is this just a cool combo, or is this actually showing up in CEDH?
It's actually in some truly competitive EDH decks. But like I said, the price of it is completely and utterly predicated on scarcity. And for a card like this to be $50 is kind of asinine. Unless, of course, like one day Scarecrow Tribal becomes a thing.
Yeah, every time I think about these CEDH combos, and which is kind of, what Commander is turning into, and that's the game and it's cool. But, back in my day when I was playing Magic uphill both ways, that was cheese bag shit. Anyone try to toss that crap out, you're like, are you kidding me right now? Like, to me, that stuff, almost all these Commander combos to me are like, that's your Kismet Stasis combo. Fuck you. Everyone scoops. But at least in this way, Stasis and Kismet, the game would take forever, right? It's like, oh God. But at least with this one, you're like, all right, everybody's dead, and so like, all right, we play a new game. So I guess that's a little bit different, right? You don't sit there for a half an hour while the guy's got control of the board going, all right, you're turning in. Oh God.
I did actually love playing Turbo Stasis back in the day in Standard, by the way.
You would, Thallid. First time we talk about it this way, but I like this idea. We're coming up with this. The conversation kept coming up and up. We said, let's talk about our show. One to speculate on. And I would invite all of you who are still paying attention and still listening to us. What are you speculating on? Even if you haven't bought the card or are not trying to buy the card or several of them, what's a card that you look at and go, man, I don't know, one day they're going to make another card. And if they do, and it works this way, then this card is going to be like out of its mind, or pick whatever reason. It looks like my first girlfriend and I just want to stare at it like a creepy weirdo at dinner. I don't care. Please give us a comment and let us know what's something to speculate on and maybe a little bit as to why. Oh, and also while you're there, you can hit the subscribe button. We're going to end our show talking about that real quick. But Thallid, you want to tell everyone, here's what we're speculating on. What are we speculating on?
This is something that my mom used to call me a leech. Leeches. Yeah, a Leeches society. Is that what my mom used to call me?
I should probably put these up like I normally do. But yes, we are buying these. Go ahead, explain the Leeches.
Well, Leeches had an all-time high of, I believe, around the $20 mark, and currently, like, you can find play sets probably for between $4 to $8 in the light play range to near mint range. And even though it's in a higher printed set, it has a very unique ability. And Mark Rosewater himself had said that it was a mistake that they ever printed this card. And I believe it was in the Mark Rosewater's blogatog that he said that.
Why did he just think it was too powerful or whatever? Like, why did he not like it?
Because of what poison counters are and like what they're supposed to be. Like, there should never be anything that removed all poison counters or something of that nature. The card experienced a big spike in price because when Phyrexian All Will Be One came out, there was the
Rot Priest,
yeah,
right?
The infect abilities, like all the different like poison counter abilities.
When I was playing a lot of MTG Arena when New Phyrexian came out, and by the way, here's our MTG stocks for the Leeches. You know, it's never really been. I mean, here you go. But again, you know, when was this? This was actually in February of 23. So this is right. This was when Phyrexian All Will Be One was kind of coming out. Right, it went up to $25. You know, and then it kind of went back down again. But that Rot Priest was so terrifying. I was almost feeling like people were like panic buying this stuff. It was sort of like buying toilet paper at COVID. You know, if someone drops that Rot Priest on me, I am just dead. And the answer kind of was, yeah, you sort of were dead. Speculating is just, we're kind of pulling some stuff out of our ass, and not the normal stuff you pull out of your ass, Thallid, like ideas out of our ass is what I'm talking about in this case. Because Mark said making this card was a mistake. And I love that reason, and that's why I decided to go buy a bunch of these as well, when you had mentioned that. Because not only is it reserve listed, that can't be done, but we now know that there is a thought process at Wizards that they don't like the idea of cards that remove poison counters, right? So that also even adds to the fact, I mean, sure, they could release a card, pay 2 mana and lose 2 life and remove a poison counter. Like, there's other ways to make cards like that, but because of what he said, you know, he's saying like, I don't want to do that. The idea is they get you to 10, you don't get rid of these things, you die. You know, and I think that that's what he's trying to preserve. And so that was that in between the cracks there, right? For our reason to speculate on this. So you all do please like us and comment if you have about what you're speculating on, and then please subscribe. And so we do have an announcement. We just hit, you ready, Thallid? 1, 2, 3. We just hit
100 subscribers.
Earliest we're more north of that now. I don't know what, 110 or something like that. So, you know, Mr. Beast, look out, man. You only have like 18 million subscribers. We are clipping at your heels, but thank you all because we did have a giveaway for those cards. So Thallid, take us out of the show here and let everyone know how we're going to handle our giveaway. And if you can remember, all the cards offhand, do say them. If you remember some of them, don't worry. We have the other video that definitely declared the cards. So it's all of those.
Right here.
You have them right here. Go ahead and hold us up to the camera.
Right, so we have the a couple of the.
I feel like I'm on like a sex cam chat right now, but instead I get to see these hot and sexy magic. Okay, that was weird. All right, just put them up.
A couple of the old book promos. The Windseeker Giant Badger. We have the Exorcist Reserve List.
I love him.
Great card. That's in Light Blade Plus near mint condition. We have an Alpha Merfolk the Pearl Trident in near mint condition. We have a random fetch, Arid Mesa. We have another reserve list card that has seen all-time highs of about 15 to $20 to the loyalty.
That Debt of Loyalty, is that what that card was?
Yep. And this is the first time foil snow-covered lands were printed. Snow-covered island from Cold Snap. Very low print run set. Those go for about $12 to $15.
And I'd like to admit to our viewers here that Thallid had to yell at me because I got stingy. I was like, that snow covered full land is so awesome. Don't add it in. But he was like, you all deserve it.
By the way, thanks to all you guys for subbing.
It's cool.
I didn't think it was going to happen so quick. At the time when I had the announcement for the contest, I think we had like 50 subs or something like that, or so it's really cool. Like people are watching. Seems like people are enjoying some of our content, which feels good.
Everybody, that is not beer. That is just urine.
Yeah, I do that first thing in the morning. It's proven to have like lots of health benefits. Golden showers aren't just for sexual gratification.
Magic.